YouTube, chicks. Get ready. You know what to do, chicks.
Look at Chick Smooth.
Hey, Chick Smooth, appreciate all the coverage that you've been doing. I've been watching your shit for a while. I just subscribed to your shit too, bro.
If anybody out there is having the worst week of their life, just be glad you're not Diddy. Today is currently day 4 in this Diddy trial, and so far, Cassie has been on stand testifying against Diddy. We've learned so many disgusting, nasty details about Diddy and his sex life, more than we even wanted to know about. We learned that Diddy would often masturbate in the corner while an escort was pounding out Cassie. Super cuck behavior, but that's what Diddy was into. But this next part just might be stuff to give you nightmares. Cassie was asked by AUSA what would happen after the escort finished on you. Cassie said Sean would want it put on his body in the next room. Did you do that? I did. Where? Usually on his nipples.
Freaky frog! You're a freaky frog!
So this freak bull Diddy was asking Cassie and also enjoyed having another man's semen rubbed on his nipples. It's really disgusting, you guys. Now, don't you guys worry, it gets even worse. 50 Cent took pleasure in clowning Diddy yesterday after one of the Jane Does recalls feeling relieved when she saw Diddy's meat because she knew it wouldn't hurt him as much when he raped her due to the lack of length and girth. She thought his penis was an itty-bitty Diddy. Lauren LaRosa from The Breakfast Club has been in court all week covering this case. Please make sure you guys go follow her. She's actually given step-by-step details on exactly what's happening in court.
Hey y'all, what's up? It's Lauren LaRosa. So we are here. We are still outside of the court. Court just ended. Right now, y'all see all of the media over here. All of the media over there. I typically go over there, but it's just so much getting caught up in all of that. I don't feel like that today. Most importantly, I want to talk to y'all because there was a lot that went down today. Biggest thing, Cassie took the stand. This is the first time that Diddy and Cassie, that I'm told, have been in the same room in the last like 6.5 years. She went through and detailed a lot. So she gave us different steps of the freak-offs. There's about 5 or 6 steps that she broke down. So she said that, you know, at first, step 1 would be this descriptive foreplay. So she says the male escort would get there and Puff would help her choose the male escort, right? Like it would be allegedly Puff would help her choose the male escort. So there would be, you know, photos sent to her through agencies, or she said they would even enlist on Craigslist at some points. If not Craigslist, she said at one point they did back page. And she wouldn't put up the ad, but she would have to answer to the ad using her actual contact information, is what she said. So she said they would get they would figure out who the men would be. The prosecutor asked, were there any specific requests when you were finding these men? And she said at one point, the only thing would be the man would have to be a black man with a big dick. She said, but at a certain point, it expanded where, you know what I mean, they would just pick the men together. So descriptive foreplay would be first. So the guy would come in, they would be touching each other, masturbating, and she would have to out loud describe everything to Diddy, whether he was in the room or not. Then it would go to step 2, which would be touching. So at this point, they're rubbing baby oil on each other, lubricant. But she says that there was like a thing with the baby oil. Like there was like almost like an alleged like fascination where they would oil you almost every 5 minutes because that's what Diddy wanted. He wanted you to be oiled to a certain extent. She made it very clear that they were a very choreographed event. It's so crazy because when she described the freak-offs, I'm not even gonna hold y'all, I was like, it sounds like he was directing a music video, which I mean, you know, but it sounded like that. Like she said, you know, at one point, it would only be like, you know, they would get extra linens, there would be a ton of baby oil and different lubricants, and it would be really messy because there'd be lubricant and oil everywhere, candle wax everywhere. But and these were actually smell good candles. She said that he always wanted to make sure it smelled really good, and she said that eventually the candles moved from candles to actual like lighting, like studio lighting or almost like party lighting. And they showed a photo of Puff in the court in a background at, you know, just like the red light that you would get from like Amazon. But she said that these were actually studio lights that could change on demand to different colors. She says that She alleges that Puff would even step in sometimes and be like, yo, y'all not oiled enough. Like, y'all need to oil more. Step 3 would then go to oral sex. She says that sometimes she would even like speed it up. Like, she's alleging that, you know, at certain points, she wouldn't want to be doing it so bad that she would speed up the touching just to get to the oral sex so she could get it over with. And then step 4 would be the actual intercourse. Now, she said, depending on how familiar they were with the escorts, because they had some of their favorites. They listed a couple people that they dealt with a couple times, including the man who allegedly was in the room the day that the day that video that dropped on CNN happened. That escort is from a company that they work with all the time, and he was actually a familiar escort as well. If he was even in the room, because that's alleged, right? But she said that he was today. But depending on how familiar they were with these escorts, one of the escorts would be able to actually have sex with her while Diddy was having sex with her. So when she broke that down, she said, you know, like maybe one guy would be like having sex with her while she's giving Puff head, or vice versa. She just said it would be a lot going on. She said now there were certain times where Diddy would just want to watch, or even if he didn't watch, it would be a thing where they would have to come on her. And again, we've heard the male escort that was on the stand, I feel like some of her testimony today kind of made him not look as crazy, because Cassie said in her testimony today, she alleged that whenever they would come, when they did come on her, Diddy would want her to keep it. They would go into a separate room and she would have to rub it on him. And they would go into the next room, and allegedly Diddy would want the escort to come on his body. And I believe she said it was on his nipples. Yes, Diddy allegedly would want the cum on his chest or his nipples. She said at some points the freak offs could go with, allegedly 1 to 4 different men, and they would do different sessions. So it'd be different men, different sessions throughout the time period, and it would last for hours. And she said sometimes as she was being fucked, or even afterward, like they would have conversations about it, and Diddy would ask her allegedly about the penis. Like, he would ask her, how did it feel? What did it look like? How did it make her feel? And, you know, she also admitted during this, and I know that the defense is going to lean in a lot on this. She admitted to having a lot of the freak off videos on her phones. She says that it wasn't just on her devices though either. She says that it was shared. Like, sometimes she'd do it on her phone, sometimes she'd do it on his phone. It would be on camcorders. She alleged that it was between the two of them already.
Now, even Cameron and Gillie are having a blast at Diddy's expense.
Where you leave?
I leave tonight, man.
Look for New York?
Yeah.
Yeah, Diddy trial, the day you testify.
What the fuck you talking about, nigga? Get the fuck out of here, you better.
Cam then jokingly went in the caption and said, caught up with my nigga Gillie at the Big 3 tryouts. He was killing, but he told me off camera he testifies next Wednesday, the 21st, as a special witness. What that means, I don't know. Wallow said he does not support what Gil is doing and fully objects to him testifying. Hey, big dog, please do not ask me any Diddy question. Not right now that I just got done playing ball. Not ever. Nobody in the industry wants to be affiliated with Diddy. All the friends he had are pretty much gone. The guys he used to party with, Kevin Hart, French Montana, Fab, all of them have gone radio silent and distanced themselves from Diddy. Rightfully so. Nobody wants their name tied up into whatever the fuck freak-offs he got going on. Now, there's still more people to testify against Diddy. One of those people is Aubrey O'Day. She's been very outspoken over the last couple of years about Diddy. And you guys know she cannot wait to get up there and let the chopper sing. You guys get in the comments below. What do you guys make of all the details, all the nasty, freaky frog details about this Diddy trial so far? Post your comments below. Subscribe to my channel, like this video. I'll see you guys later, man.
You leave?
I leave tonight, man.
Look for New York?
Yeah.
Yeah, Diddy trial, the day you testify.
What the fuck you talking about, nigga? Get the fuck out of here, you better.
Feet in the bar.